What I've taken on is dealing with the water coming from the culvert on South Ridge, which is up yonder somewhere. Out of the culvert it goes underneath a tree stump which fell over a couple of winters ago. A tree that fell over a couple of winters ago, and then we've cut it and taken the wood. Then it goes into that divot, comes out of there, and essentially I've trained it all the way. At this point, this is the second time I go through things actually. This bit I haven't done a second time, this is all first time. Goes all the way down, around that corner, and you know, that's the workshop, and it goes that way. So what it's done to this area here is, because I've waylaid, you know, like I'm training it as opposed to having it come down as a sheet over the whole woods. And really, the more I look at these trees, the more I see that they're waterlogged. Anyway, is that it was massively reduced the water to there, where I have that drain with that ditch that I was going to French drain, which now I might do because I've massively reduced the quantity. So I can French drain that, I think, depending on how it is the rest of the winter. It's reduced it a lot, but there's still some going, which we want. So we want a bit going that'll service that, keep that area behind the workshop, or keep the Nine Bark going. And then this stream is servicing that part of the Nine Bark up until that tree where we're going to cut through. And this stream already joins the cut that I made off to 7. So in very few areas I've dug new stuff. It's mainly wherever it's going, I'm just sort of tidying it up, which is obviously the best way. Most of the water stopped flowing, or has reduced to a trickle. It hasn't rained in several days, so this is just the leftover dribbles and drabbles. So this is still very good flow, very good flow. That's not sheeting the entire area. See, when I first started this project, the water flowing down this hillside was completely silent. And now it's just laughing and singing all the way down. So the idea here is to, at this point, flow it fast. I'm actually trying to get it to move fairly quickly, so that it cuts its own channel that will withstand the cycles of leaves and sticks and all of that stuff. And then once it's done that, I imagine sometime next season, so a year from now, slow it down. And obviously I'll slow it down by putting rocks and things in the channel. The shape of it's pretty good though. It meanders along very nicely, but it is moving pretty much full chooch. So like, yeah, stuff like that actually pulled out because it was just backing up into ponds and everything. So I'll put those back in and get some more stuff to put in a year from now. Anyway, so I've trenched this area to stop it from going to the garden and the greenhouse and the hoop house and so on. As far as that goes, it was a very successful event. This really breaks my heart to have the land in this state, but there's no other way to do it. So there's going to be massive clear up later. So I started right at the road here, and just to make sure that everything is covered, even though you can see from the water not flowing that it wasn't strictly necessary. Water begins to flow about here. Yeah, that's all coming out of this swampy area. And it carries on, this carries on actually all the way to 7. So there's quite a lot of, I tried to make it as not backhoe-y as possible. So I tried to, you know, go easy on the depth for a start. This is an interesting area in that as I was digging, the water naturally wanted to flow back into the swamp. So I let it, but in the meantime also cut the channel around it. But actually right now it's flowing there mainly. You could see just a bit of water flowing this way, and that's fine. Let the water carry on making its channel, because this will be like an overflow for when we have events like the one we did a couple of days ago where the heavens opened up, atmospheric river and all that. It's quite a poetic way to put it actually, isn't it? Atmospheric river. Anyway, all the way along there are tributaries that come up to this line coming out of the, including here you'll see. I don't know whether you can see that on video to tell the truth, but there's tributaries coming out all the way along. Now in the long run, that is the proposed route. So we leave this tree, that tree, all of this brush on this side, and then only some of the brush on this side, and then the garden can be expanded up there. The more we're exposed to things like atmospheric rivers and forest fires and all the rest of it, the more I'm quite happy to turn what land we have to the service of feeding the progeny as time goes on. Anyway, it carries on here. I finished this off in the dark, so I don't really know what I'm going to see coming around this corner. But wow, there's a lot of water. I can see right now, look, the garden is empty. I don't think we necessarily want to keep it this way all the time. I think in the summertime we want to stop the water from doing this and allow it to go into the garden, so that when we do have those rains that actually you know, water the roots, as it were, by water flowing down from up there, that we make use of that so it remains an asset. But right now, garden is dry. Bloody amazing, really. Okay, so Started getting really dark around here. As I say, it busts my heart to actually see this thing in this state, but it is the winter time. This little area like here, the wiggly area, slow it down a bit. Then here, this is just a slightly natural lower land. I think you can see from all of this that the water was doing more than it was, but I'll come back here when my elbow's better and just use some spade work to get this guaranteed to flow that way and not spread out that way, because that is a bit lower there actually on this side. Anyway, from here it carries on into I see it's using the tractor treads as a bit of a stream. This is where it comes into 7. So this is the state of 7. This is how much water I've directed into it. The water everywhere is really slowed down. It was chooching a lot more yesterday. So, but anyway, this is good. This is a goodly amount of water we're taking out. Anyway, there it is.